Okay guys, so you've bought a P90 or a P90 Plus, and this is the instructions on how to best use it. So I'm going to begin by playing a short video where I run through some of the basics.
Have it in front of me, it's on standby, which means there's a little red standby button there. Okay, so I have the remote which is attached, it's got a wire and it's attached to the back. If you have the Plus, then this remote is wireless. So you don't need to use the remote, you can do it manually just by bending down and pressing right here. If you have that ability, some people aren't able to bend down, then you're going to need the remote. So once it's in standby mode, which means it's plugged in and turned on, you can now put your feet onto it like this and it will come on, it will go green. You'll get the timer, which is 30 minutes, and you'll get a power number which will begin with 1. I'll show you that in just a minute. So you can now control the power. If you want 1, you don't need to do anything. If you want to go up, then you can press plus as many times as necessary. Each time you press plus, it goes up 1 unit until it reaches the maximum, which is 10. I typically use 5 or 6. Some people do like to use 10. When you're first starting, especially if you're toxic, you want to start cautiously on maybe 2 or 3, or if you're very toxic, you may even want to start on 1. How do you know what setting to use? Well, typically, if you go up the settings, there's going to come a point when you start to feel something going on. That's fine. But if you feel uncomfortable, what do I mean by uncomfortable? You might get an uncomfortable tingling. You might get heat that's uncomfortable. If it's just a little tingling, a little warmth, that's fine. The warmth is not coming from the plates, which are cool. It's coming from the blood circulation increasing in much the same way as if you blush, something that people don't seem to do anymore. But if you blush, you might feel a little warmth on your cheeks. That's as the circulation kicks in. It's a similar thing to that. So you're going to use the number that is comfortable for you. And if you don't feel anything, you can go up a little bit and keep going up. And most people will feel something at some point before it gets to 10 or at 10. Okay, not everybody feels it, and if you don't feel anything, fine, you can go to the top, have maximum strength for you. Okay, so that's the first step.
Okay, so now we're going to have a look at the console on top of the device, and then we'll go from there.
Now I'm coming in for a close-up look at the actual panel. So right now it's 1 and 30 minutes. So I can manually just go up by touching that to 2, 3, 4, and if I want to come down, I just do that. So that's how you would do it manually.
Okay, so you can see it's very, very simple to use. Now, if it was a P90 Plus, you would have 20 power settings, and it's much more powerful. And also, your remote control will be wireless. Anyway, one of the things that you'll see when you get your device is it will come with a little leaflet that talks about contraindications. And there's quite a few contraindications. I just want to explain what they're about and answer a few questions that come up quite a bit. So one of the contraindications they give is wearing jewelry. You can't wear jewelry while using it. Metal jewelry, that would be. So I don't know anybody that doesn't wear jewelry while using it, and nobody has a problem with it. In fact, I even have some clients that use metal toe rings, which is going onto a metal plate. Personally wouldn't recommend that, but none of them seem to have a problem. So many of the contraindications, in fact, for example, menstruation, says not to use during menstruation, and yet I get lots of women telling me that when they use it during that time, they have a much better time, less pain, less bloating, etc. So why do they have these contraindications? Well, it's because if they don't have studies proving it's safe, then legally they sometimes have to make those kind of statements. But I do want to say that one of the contraindications is something we should take seriously, and that is the one that says not to use if one has a pacemaker. A pacemaker has the possibility, it's an electronic device inside the body, that potentially the 2 different frequencies from the pacemaker and the P90 or P90 Plus could interfere and cause a problem, and if that happened, it could be particularly dangerous. So if you have an electronic device on which your life depends, please do not use either the P90 or the P90 Plus. You can, of course, use the OliLife wand. You would need some specific instructions if you have a pacemaker and you are using that, but you can use that safely. But do not use the P90 or the Plus if you have an electronic device inside your body on which your life depends. Now, a couple of other things to say. One of the things that the P90 and Plus do is they increase the circulation. This increases the flushing of toxins. So you're going to have more toxins flushed into your blood. Therefore, it's a very good idea to drink more water, probably than you do unless you're someone that already drinks plenty of water. I'm not going to go into it on this video, but I highly recommend a nano binder that sits in your blood to mop up toxins. That's going to reduce the chance of toxins either causing a Herxheimer's reaction, a detox in other words, or also it's going to mean that more of the toxins are going to leave your body rather than potentially being recirculated. But again, I'm not going into that on this. You can talk to the person that you bought your device through if you want to know more on that. Now, the P90 Plus has mostly been covered by everything we've talked about, but it has two extra devices that come with it for another job. So let's talk about them. So these are the other two devices that you see beside the P90 Plus. One is for the face and one is for anywhere on the body. So we're going to get into how we use those. So this is a friend and colleague, Luigi. He's just explaining the P90 Plus here. Right now he's looking at the back of the P90 Plus, which has a connection point for the other devices. Let's hear what he has to say.
Little item where you can unscrew it, and when you put this, you have to, so whether you're using the facial or the massager, you can only use one at a time in this little switch here in front. When you put your switch in it, it fits in. There's only one way to fit it in, so just turn it around until you see that it fits in, then you start screwing it. Don't try to force it and screw it in. You don't want to break it. So turn it around until it fits in and screw it on. Now, the first one that I have plugged in is my facial. The facial, very simple. First thing that you have to do is here, the power, open it up. You know, it's closed. I'm going to open it up. But now it's on. The other thing here, the middle button, is EMS technology or red light technology. The other button here on top is the intensity, 1, 2, or 3. So if I choose EMS, 1, 2, or 3, very simple. Now, which one do you use? Okay, so after a lot of investigations, I found out that you can use the EMS 15-20 minutes a day, or you can use the red light for 15-20 minutes a day, or you can use a combination of 10 minutes for the EMS and 10 minutes for the red light in the same day.
Now, both of these devices that are added to the P90 Plus need a connectivity gel to work effectively. My suggestion for the one that you use is that you just do a Google search. I can give a link to people that actually work with me, but you just do a Google search for a non-toxic connectivity gel. You can make your own, basically with aloe vera and salt, so you can make your own, but just try and get a non-toxic version. So now we're going to just see Luigi using one of the devices.
Our facial. Well, the facial right here. As you can see, it's flat. There's some metal things. So let's start with the EMF. So let's say I wanted to do the EMF. So I would, first of all, turn it on. I would choose the EMF on top. Then I would choose frequency 1, 2, or 3. I'll put it at 3. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take some gel for the face. Open it up. Whether you want to use this one or this one. And you put the gel where you want to use the device, right? So let's say I want to do this side. What I noticed is this. If you rub the OliLife gel too long, it kind of evaporates. Then when you take your device and you put it on, you don't feel any shocks. Because when you're using the EMS technology, you feel like the skin contracting. It gives little electric shocks. Don't worry, it's normal. If you don't feel those electric shocks, it means that you don't have enough gel on your skin. Because I noticed at the beginning when we were putting the gel on and we were rubbing it too long on our face, I wouldn't feel the shocks anymore. Now you do this throughout your whole face, and it actually works. You know, this is for women, but I have to admit I'm using it every day now. I'm 60 years old, so I want to keep on looking younger. Plus, instead of paying $50, $60, or $100 every time I go to the beauty salon, I can do it for free every day with my P90 Plus, right? All right, so this is how you use the EMS. If you wanted to use the red light therapy, so let's say I put red light, the middle button, go to red light, choose the frequency, 1, 2, 3. So the difference is you don't feel any shocks for the red light. It's like a little bit of heat, right? That's the difference between the EMS and red light technology.
Okay, so you can see how simple that is. He mentions Olilife gel. Olilife do a gel, but in all honesty, you have to buy it in quite bulk, and it's just easier to get from your local resources. Okay, so that's that device. So now let's look at that device.
So the beautiful thing about the massager, it pretty much does, well, I mean, I'm not sure if it does exactly the same thing, but everybody knows the Vitality Wand, right? The Vitality Wand is if you want to target a specific area.
By the way, that's the device that you can use in place of the P90 if you have a pacemaker. It's also better for certain other things such as children, babies that you can't use the P90 with, or animals which you also can't use the P90 with, and it's great for targeting specific regions.
On your body, this is the device that you want, because the P90 or Plus is enhancing your circulation, your oxygen, and enhancing your overall benefits health-wise on everything you can imagine, from blood circulation to your mental state to anything you can imagine. Trust me, I've been using it for a couple of months and I'm seeing improvements all over by using the P90. But my wife has a specific area on her body that hurts, so we got the Vitality Wand just to target that area, and it's doing wonders for her. This one here, she hasn't used it yet, but she's going to start using it. So how do you use this one? Well, once you plug it in, you have the middle button. The one in the middle is to turn it on. So I'm going to turn it on. Then you have vibration here. So you have 1, 2, 3. You have 3 intensities of vibration. Then you have the EMS technology right here, where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 intensities of EMS technology. And then you have the red light here. See the red light that opens up and closes? And that one has just 1 intensity. So the red light has 1 intensity. The EMS has 5 intensities. And you have the temperature also. This one here is temperature. You have 1, 2, 3 intensities of temperature. Pretty simple to use. Then you do the same thing. You take your gel, whether you're using this one that you do both of them with it, or whether you're using the other one that comes from Olilife, and you put it in your area of your arm, your leg, wherever you have some certain aching, and you massage that area with the gel.
One thing that I realized I forgot to show was the back of the P90 Plus. So you're going to see 4 inputs, as it were. So the power cord is on the left. By the way, the power cord is a regular kind of computer power cord. So there are some countries where you might get a power cord that doesn't have your country's plug, Europe in particular. If you do get one with, let's say, a UK plug on, you can just use a regular computer cord that will fit into that and just switch it very easily, or you can use an adapter, of course, for a couple of euro. You can even cut the plug off. I've done that, cut the plug off and put my own country's plug on. I live in Brazil. That would void the warranty, so in all honesty, if I sent the machine back for under the 12-month warranty, I'd probably leave the cord at home. But anyway, so that's the power cord. Then you have on the P90 Plus, you have the wire for the remote control. If you want to use a remote control, that's where that would plug in. Then next to that you have the power button, and then the fourth one is a button to warm the plate. So if you're living somewhere where it's very cold and you're very sensitive, you can warm the plate up before you use it. Turn it off when it's ready, and then put your feet on it. If for some reason you're super sensitive, I've never used it, but some people, it's an option if they want it. It's not even on the P90 Plus, it's just on the P90. Okay, so I hope that's been helpful. If there's anything this hasn't covered, then please feel free to ask questions. Your first point of call for support is through the person that you ordered this product through. So get back to them if you have any questions that are not covered, and have a fantastic experience with it. So many people have. I hope you really enjoy using it.